Good morning. Welcome to Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker joined, as is most usual for these morning shows, Keith Fustel. Keith, missed you yesterday. How are we looking forward to today?
I'm looking forward to today. Weather's a little bit better, right? We've got a fast track. Unfortunately, we are off the turf. We took a lot of rain the other day, the other night. So hopefully tomorrow we've got beautiful sunny skies and a little breeze going right now. Hopefully that'll dry out that turf course. But, yeah, I'm ready for today's card.
Yeah, very. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Indeed, we are off the turf on the main track, but fields are relatively held together for those races. A couple of MTOs that are very glad that we're racing on the main track. But of course, it is Friday, meaning Stronach 5 Friday coming your way. We do not kick things off. Gulfstream does. Race number 5, leg A. But we do have our two final races on the card, race 8 and race 9 being the middle segment of this sequence. And then in Florida, they'll have race 7 as leg D. And then leg E, the final leg, is going to be Golden Gate Fields. So that is A, B, C, D, and E. 5 races across the nation, partnered with our sister tracks, Gulfstream Park, Golden Gate Fields. So definitely looking forward to that. And no, our races are not easy, race 8 and race 9. So fingers crossed will be correct. But we know, as usual, the payout will be there for those with the correct tickets, and tends to be a pretty decent price as well. And if you want to play, we have a first bet offer. The Stronach Pick 5, $10 free bet. So whatever your wager ends up amounting to, you get $10 of your wager back, really allowing you to, get a bit of a go at a discount.
Oh, and if you're paying attention to the Stronach 5, we reiterate it each week. It just pays great.
Yeah.
I mean, much more than a parlay almost every time this bet goes through. We talked about a couple of weeks. Parlay would have paid $4,000, paid $24,000 last week strong. You're getting a $10 free shot at that kind of money. You better get cracking on your handicapping and get busy on that Stronach 5.
Well, look, it's not easy, but that's how you separate yourselves from all the others at a possible high payout, as you highlighted, Keith. Overlay City, right? Isn't that what Peter Aiello keeps saying?
Dave Rodman, I think they're going to create their own video for that. Yeah.
Oh, they should. Yeah. They should. I couldn't agree with them more. Also, coming up next weekend, next Saturday, so not this Saturday, next Saturday, the Fall Festival of Racing, October the 2nd. As usual, at 12:40 p.m. post, 5 stakes, $600,000 in purses. Of course, highlighted by juvenile action in the Salima Stakes for the 2-year-old fillies, amount 16 on the turf, and the Laurel Futurity for the 2-year-olds, amount 16 also on the turf. So really, looking forward to seeing these juveniles go in the distance here on the grass.
Yeah, just a few weeks away. Yeah, highly competitive races. Trish, and company, I looked at these noms, huge, so many nominations. It's like a trainer's all-star race when you go through them, right? You see Pletcher, Chad Brown, Motion, yes, Delacour, Maker, the list goes on and some of our locals. So that's going to be a big, big day.
Yeah, very much looking forward to how those fields will shape up. Let's look at the current track conditions. The sun is shining, so we did see that main track has had the chance to start drying out even further. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. No turf racing. Looking forward to having it back. But like we said, we had some rain over the last few days, and I think that the dirt track is looking superb.
Looking good. If you're paying attention, though, you're watching this track. We talked about biases and things of that nature. Well, I've got to know, for the last 5 racing days, that inside was playing very strong. So I'm going to give a little credence to that, and I'm leaning that way. We'll see if it stays that way. I'll adjust accordingly throughout the card if this thing's kind of even out. But that was a trend, and closers were not making up a ton of ground, Naomi. I know you saw that, and they're talking to Callie this morning, the same thing. So we'll see if that track holds a status quo like it has for the last 5 racing cards.
Well, let's see how we can use a little bit of the weights playing currently in our selections. Race number 1, start of the early pick 5 as usual. 9 races on the card, and first one of them is going to be on the main track at 5.5 furlongs on it. And you landed on the number 4, Grace Isabella, close second in her last 2. Had a break, comes back at a slightly higher level now, or maybe a bit more sort of similar level, but 2 back. She actually recovered from a bad break to nearly catch Joyful Noise.
I'm just kind of trying to sneak out a little bit of value in here. Ranchar is going to take a lot of play, but stay out. Ranchar, I'm sure their trainers going to hey, get out there early, the way this track has been playing. And I think Grace Isabella, a little freshening. she works at this level. I'm not worried about the tag. I mean, this is kind of a sideways move here. Now on the dirt, she wanted main track only. She can sit within range. If she breaks cleanly, I can see her within 2 or 3 lengths. She's going to be able to save ground around the turn, get on the best part of the racetrack, or how it's been, and then rally in from there. I mean, Ranchar ran awfully big, chased a Kieran McGee horse that ran lights out at Timonium. She's going to bring the pressure to stay out, because stay out, she wants to get to the front and go.
Stay out needs the lead, whereas I feel like Ranchar has options and has a higher draw, which I think is advantageous here, so she can kind of decide where she wants to be. But she's going to be forwardly placed, so I guess in terms of what you were highlighting earlier, I feel like my picks kind of do reflect that a little bit, going with some of the speed. 7546 for me, 4756 for you there. Race number 2 is the start of the early pick 5. Look, when you're not here, we're missing your stellar early pick 5 tickets. So do tell us how you're seeing things unfold today.
Yeah, I'm going to try a little bit of a blow up in race number 2 with the 1 Jovis on top. I'll go 1, 2, 4. Eastern Bay will be a strong favorite in there, I would think. Race 3, 3 deep with the 3, 4, and 6. Some speed signed on, definitely with a guy in force. They're quick. Race 4 with the 1 and the 7. Miss Headley, Baby Ice. They're going to use those two. Baby Ice went back and watched that race at Monmouth from the other day. That was a good effort. Scott Lake's got this one going very well. And race 5 with the 6, 7, and 8. It's a $27 ticket. Not looking to really hit it out of the park, but something manageable. If we can get 150, 200, 250 in that range, I'm pleased with that. Sometimes you just kind of adjust with the way the cards are laid out there in front of you, and that's what I'm going to go for.
No, I completely understand that. $27 to get you started. Let's talk about this optional claim and starter allowance, 6 furlongs on the dirt, because you know what? There are a few in here that are kind of looking to regain some of their prior form. One of them being Eastern Bay. Let's look back at his last race, where he actually ran second but was awarded first prize money, and he broke slowly. And unfortunately, that's what he kind of has started to do as of late. Well, he has done it in the past, but I feel like now he's getting a little bit older. He's just making a habit out of it, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's definitely troublesome. But this horse owes them nothing. He has done tremendous since being in the barn here for Claudio Gonzalez. Comes with a pretty good wide rally. Bell Tapestry that day widens, subsequently DQ'd out of that race. So Eastern Bay put up 12 wins from 40 starts. If he breaks clean and keeps him in range, he's probably going to mow him down. You really don't get too concerned, I guess, with Claudio's counter runners when they do this. But, yeah, he's had a good run. But I think Jovis, the way this track has been playing, and once again, this is the hardest thing when you're handicapping in the morning, you're giving out selections in the morning, and then you see the track playing a certain way. And you can't go back and change it. You're up there, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, no. I know when I gave out some picks in the morning, I can't make them up, can't get them back. But Jovis, I think maybe the friendly confines of this area, Laurel Park, and its surroundings are good.
Yeah.
I think he is the speed of the speed. I'm not worried about his last two. I think you're going to see a rebound. This horse has scored at a big price before. Right to the front. Take him as far as you can, Jovis.
Yeah, I mean, look, he does have to come back to some of the form he showed. He did at Laurel, seems to run better at Laurel. I kind of put him underneath because I got, a little bit disencouraged by some of his last efforts on the main track as well as on the turf. But, that's easy to kind of set aside. So I landed on Eastern Bay, still being that class. Of course, last year nearly got to Lacaille in the Grade 3 de France's Dash. Is he still the same horse? It doesn't really seem that way, which is worrisome. But I do feel like Claudio Gonzalez got a pretty good handle on this race, because I like Baptized the Boy, who has shown still a little bit of recent form, and he secured an open allowance win 2 starts ago with kind of a dominant move around the turn. Now he faced Band on Tour. We know Band on Tour came back yesterday to win the feature. Now it was a smaller field because we're off the turf, but he still ran incredibly well. For me, kind of highlighting how Baptized the Boy is possibly the form horse in this race.
Yeah, agreed. And you see the short comment, caught between last time. I don't like it when horses are in between horses for quite a bit of ground, quite a bit of distance. Baptized the Boy, I think, might set up shop as the stalker in here, because Stroll Smoking, he just hasn't come back. I mean, off the claim, a little disappointed. Maybe Baptized the Boy will stalk and move into Jovis, but we'll take a little shot.
I like it. Why not? Good spot to do so. Race number 3, optional claim at starter allowance. We're also on the main track in that spot, 5.5 furlongs sprinting here. And let's start with your top selection, the number 3, Magic Mule. I must admit, this race, I was back and forth with my selections. I love Magic Mule because I think he's going to be forwardly placed, which we like in here. He seems to be in very, very good form. 1-3 starts back, but only beaten by half a length start before that, and then in his last start, 4th by a length. So clearly seems to be the horse to be. Now, that was the Spotted Bull Semperfi Alpha Key Row race. We know Alpha Key Row came back and absolutely rattled on the front yesterday.
Yes.
So clearly that was a good race to come out of.
He's got some positional speed as well, does Magic Mule. He's been a different horse since being claimed. Now, can he transfer that form to Laurel Park? We'll see. I like the setup that he's going to get because I think, again, like the first race, Degas connection. Force, we know, very fast. Force might be a little bit quicker gate speed, but Degas is quick in his own right. He's going to want a whole position. I'm banking on a bit of a contested pace, maybe to set things up for Magic Mule, ride the inside and rally into it. Hung very wide, a little bit of a hang last time. Looked like he was going to go ahead and go on with it mid-stretch. Didn't quite do it, but I think the setup is to his advantage today in moving inside.
I do agree with you that there is a fair bit of speed that is worrisome for my top pick, Force, but he's kind of the outside speed, so I like that. And he ran a 93 buyer on a bit of an off track. Now, I know we are on a fast track, but I know that the top still had a little bit of moisture in it. But also my key to this horse is the fact that his career best came at Laurel Park at open company allowance. Now that of course was a little while ago, but still he does like this track, moves well over it. Kieran McGee seems to have this horse moving in the right direction again. Don't think Timonium was really his track, but he made it happen nonetheless. So like him coming back here, use him on top. You use the number 6 Tower underneath as well there for you, McMahon. Similar to me as Magic Mule. Is going to kind of spy the speed and make that middle move.
That's what I'm banking on, exactly. His last race works for me with a little bit of trouble. You see that unruly at the gate and an early bump. We'll draft in. We'll not have to worry about it in the shorter field, scratch the 1, 2, and 9. So we're down to a 6-horse field here. I think he'll draft in and get position. But, Forced. Got it done at Timonium, and a little bump up here. So that's a positive. I don't know. I just didn't like the way he kind of wilted at Pimlico with that pressure from just an okay horse. Degas is a little bit better, and I mean he's pretty sharp right now.
But the thing is, Degas is drawn to his inside.
Sure.
So if anyone is applying pressure, it's going to be Force. And hence, I thought that was advantageous to him instead of it being the other way around. Because certainly Degas is going to be very aggressive early. So, we'll see how it plays out here. Move along to race number 4, which is the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. I created a Rainbow Pick 6 ticket for today, and this is how I play it. You can see, I could not come up with a single. I thought it wasn't the type of day to really reliably single on anyone. I used the 1, the 5, and the 7 in race number 4, and then in race 5 I used the 5, the 6, and the 8, with the 8 being my top pick there, which is Big Venezuela. Speed on the outside for Bruno de Sturge Acosta. Race 6 I go too deep in here. I feel like Tough But Fair is going to be the horse to beat in that spot. The MTO, Mane 8th on the dirt. Didn't help herself, I nearly singled on her. I was this close on singling on her because yes, the speed figures are closely matched, but she didn't help herself in the last race. Basically nearly went on her knees, stumbling over her own legs, then was able to recover and went to the lead and just used up a lot of gas there. Do use the number 7 underneath just as kind of a saver. Princess Dior for trainer Dale Capuano. I think she's going to come back with a better effort than what we've seen recently. She showed us she's capable, just kind of need to get back, I think, to Laurel Park, Charleston, perhaps a tighter track for this. I think suits her running style better. Race 7, 1, 4, 6 in that maiden special weight. Kind of even want to go deeper, but alas, race 8, restricted allowance here, 7 furlongs distance. I used the 1, the 6, and the 7. And then in race 9, maiden 40. Look, I'm wary of Baltimore Bullet. He is my third choice in there. I have the 10 and the 11. So if you have the money, add the 2 in there as well. I know that it's quite a spready ticket, but I feel like today is going to be a day that you can find some value there. $64.80, probably the biggest ticket I tend to make, but I felt like I really did need all these horses because there are a couple of races that I think it really depends how it unfolds, and if we can get a price, we can get paid. Race number 4, let's have a look at the number 5 here, Little Bit Lily, because we do have a video spotlight of her last race where she went to the lead. She was in company. She had Genie's Angel on her outside. She was flying early. 46.4 for the half mile, and she continued and cleared under asking. I thought that was very impressive. Look, this is a tough starter allowance here. There's a lot of fillies in this spot that are looking for a multitude of wins in a row.
Yeah, exactly. We've got 3 of them in here, right? Your favorites have won. Each have won 3 races in a row.
All looking for their 4th win in a row coming into this.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Now, a little bit of Lily. She likes, a muddy track, sloppy track. It doesn't matter. She can handle any surface. So, I mean, she's versatile. She's got speed. I went back and watched Baby Ice's race at Monmouth. She just toyed with that field, confidently handled throughout by the rider. Maybe she can kind of draft in. Maybe she doesn't want to go ahead and press. I think she might be the one to come from a little bit further off. But Miss Headley, take nothing away. Her last race was super strong. Beat a good field, 11-1 over the straight track. A little different surface now, right? I mean, I just think, well, I shouldn't say this was the new surface. I think she can sit if needed. If a little bit of Lily goes ahead and goes, and then we're going to have Baby Ice kind of go press, I think she can just sit right behind him. She had that running style prior. She's gotten really good. They found the hole card for this filly right now. Just stay inside. That's all I'm saying. If you want to duel, fine, but don't leave that position until you absolutely have to. This is a really good race. I love these fillies and mares.
This is a terrific race. This is very hard to separate those top three. I find really interchangeable in terms of the 1, the 5, and the 7. But with Miss Headley, I was wondering if that inside gate actually kind of does force her hand a little bit to have to take a forward position to hold that rail spot.
She was so sharp, her last couple. I think if she just comes out running a little bit, he can just kind of peek to the outside clip. So Ghost may want to go as well. It's just holding that position, and I think she has enough speed right now, as sharp as she is, to be able to do that without having to check or steady nearing the turn. So that's the key. If you're looking for anybody to rally off the pace, I guess it's the 3, Ravenel or Joyful Noise.
Yeah, those are the kind of underneath price plays to use in this spot. I definitely feel like if any start a pace duel here, those 2, Ravenel and Joyful Noise, are going to be picking up the pieces for at least a check.
That's a situation from a betting standpoint. If you're playing supers and tries, you say, okay, are these 3 are going to run together? Let's just kind of throw these 2 in here and work them around in that 3rd, 4th position, maybe once in the 2nd. Not saying that they're going to win it, but if you're going to boost it and play it and think those couple of those speeds are going to fade from the early duel, that's the way you attack a race like that.
I agree with you. This is actually one of the best races. I feel like the toughest one to handicap today. It's incredibly competitive. Looking forward to it. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the ladder section of the card. Welcome back to Laurel Park. We are on race number 5. You did just see that commercial about First Bet, indeed our preferred wagering partner, because they give you so much information. Those algorithms can certainly point you in the right direction to find some value. But let's hope we're correct as well coming up today. Mawan 16 claiming 10-8 for 3-year-olds and up. Both of us use similar horses, just a little bit of a different order. We'll start with the number 7, Blue Sky Painter. Do you believe you have a stat on this 4-year-old gelding for trainer Kieran McGee?
Yeah, I think I thought we'd settle around the similar horse. It's still a little bit of a tricky race when it's all said and done. But this, from a value standpoint, works for me because I think you're going to get some in Blue Sky Painter. I've got this one lined at 5. I think you should be hunting something about that price. But Kieran McGee, the last 3 years on the dirt at Laurel, 6 for 13, 46%, 12 for 13 in money. Second off of a claim, and with this kind of break, the 31 to 60-day break, ROI of 5.35. Was up against it last time out at Pimlico. Big Venezuela had the run, everything to his own way. He's going to have to deal a little bit with Frankie Murch early. You've got Bobby 2 times, a reclaim for Kieran, who certainly works. But Blue Sky Painter, he comes back to one of his top races, which I think he's going to today. And if Charlie can kind of draft him and save some ground, he can rally into this pace. Now, Big Venezuela, he's in very good form, and take nothing away that he might be able to just prompt the issue of Frankie Murch, because he was against the bias August 7th. That was his downfall there at Pimlico. Other than that, you look at his last couple dirt races, whether it's a sloppy track, a good track, he works, so he's going to be dangerous. You know, Acosta's going to be aggressive from that outside post, but there's the value. Blue Skies Painter.
No, absolutely. I mean, I landed on Big Venezuela because indeed in terrific form, has bested a couple of these here comfortably before. So not any a special handicapping here. It's just he's beat these horses before. I think he can do it again. However, he is drawn towards the outside. We know that the turn comes up quickly. The mile in 16, possibly JD will have to work for it to get position. I do wonder if that might take something away from him, but he's been in really, really good form. So I hope he continues it. Both of us use a 6 underneath as well. Bobby 2 times. That's the kind of horse that would kind of draft back, see everything unfold, and then come rallying late. Has shown to have a pretty strong late close.
Yeah, ran a top fig for Kieran 2 races back. They reached back in and grab him
Yeah.
off of that wide trip. Didn't really have any help up front. I expect a better effort, especially, like I say, with Frankie Murch going out there and maybe entertaining Big Venezuela.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case as well. Race number 6, mile and an eighth on the dirt here. Fillies and Mess 3-year-old and up, claiming 16 to 12.5. Non-win is a 2 life. And like I said, I made Tough But Fair my best bet. I looked at her last race. That was still with trainer Claudio Gonzalez. She stumbled over her own legs when braking. She was still rushed up to the lead by JD that day, setting a decent clip, towing that field over the mile and an eighth. Closer that day, Light Up Night, made full use of that scenario. She basically set it up for the closer that day. But I think today she's going to be, if she just gets a cleaner break, perhaps not go as strong early. No problem with this distance on the dirt. I know that we have a reduced field because we're off the turf. I think this is her race to lose.
Yeah, do you think she just goes ahead and tries to steal it? If she breaks
I think she will
cleanly,
try.
goes to
If
the
she
front?
breaks cleanly,
Yeah.
as long as she doesn't have to use herself up too much, because there are a couple of others in here that have shown early speed.
Yeah.
Wolverette is pretty fast
Yeah.
early too. But I just feel like with that low draw, mile and an eighth, Johan Rosado gets some. Look, we do have a trainer change here to the Fox Barn, and we also know that they like to send their horses. So in
Sure.
general, I think if she breaks well and does it within herself, this will be her race to lose up the front.
Yeah, I just really, I don't have a strong opinion in here. Reluctantly took the 7 Princess Dwyer. I watched that race at Charlestown. Got in trouble last time, but had a clean run, had all the momentum 4 and 5 wide, and still was run down. Maybe, just maybe, she prefers to be on a bigger racetrack. If she breaks away cleanly, she'll shadow the speed in here and be able to last. And we're talking about a mile and an eighth. This last eighth of a mile. It's going to be interesting. I think they're going to be just kind of a battle of attrition to the finish.
So
A
hence,
slight
I think my
edge.
top pick is going to actually enjoy that because she stayed the distance before.
Exactly.
But, so I agree with you. Mile
Yeah.
and eighth is tricky. Princess Dior, I use her underneath. But yeah, and then the number 5, Wolverette, I mean, she is also stretching back out to the mile and eighth. So there's a couple that you kind of question the extra eighth here. Hence, I landed on the number 2. We'll move on to race number 7 in here. The maiden special weight for the Fillies and Mess, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, 7 furlongs the distance in there. Do have a video spotlight on the horse that both you and I opted to use in first. We're looking at her Delaware race where she wasn't having that much fun upon the start here. That was her first ever start. Had to steady right out of the gate.
Yeah, we picked that up, a little bobble, and then a steady out of there. So Connor got her off her game, but I like the way that she moved up wide around the turn. She made a pretty good run into contention. So given that and talking about the breeding should buy Quality Road, the mare, good, 8 winning siblings, stakes types of horses. The family is there, and this is a barn that's done pretty well with second outrunners over the course, of their training career, that being Todd Beatty. So a circling move, a willing move. Coming back, she's got to break because I think she's got to keep the speed, within range in Beautiful Farewell. That track that the 4 comes off of at Belmont that day looked like it was definitely trending towards the outside horses. Horses were rallying in well wide, 5 and 6 wide, pinned down inside with pressure. She's going to go, and I take them a long way. But maybe it's Maggie's bit second time out.
Yeah, no, I like Maggie's bid as well because that race, the third place runner above the limit came back to win a Timonium by 5.5 lengths, 62 Buyer. I thought that kind of boosts her form quite nicely. But indeed, you're right. She needs to break a little bit better. Hopefully less trouble early. I use Beautiful Farewell in second because of what you mentioned. She is the speed of the speed here. I think she's going to be the one dominating the pace in this spot. Use By the Hour underneath. Just so, trying to figure out what to make of it. It's going to be her first time on the main track. She's stretching out to 7. Her dam was stakes placed on the main track, and then her half-sister also won sprinting on the dirt 70 bar. So the family suggests shouldn't be a problem. And of course, by Tappet, who can get his runners to run on anything. So just want to make sure I'm on board here with Brittany Russell, who's really started to fire up again as of late.
Yes.
Race number 8, allowance here. Fillies and mares, 3-year-old and up. Maryland bred or Maryland sired, 7 furlongs the distance in here. And this, you know what, this race for me, the first thing I did was a little bit of a spread race. I know we landed on the same top 2 in this spot, but I can make a case for a couple in here. But let's start with Mocha's for Dale Caparano. She's unexposed. She did very well on debut. She even increased her speed in the final leg of the race. But of course, you go from maiden special weight to allowance level. That is a step up. She's going to face tougher runners before than what she's seen in the past. Is she up to it? I think on raw talent, she might be.
Yeah, I mean, she had to work hard to get the lead. JD really kind of gunned her out of there. She was able to drop insecure. She took some pressure. She held firm to the wire. She has every right to move up off of that race. Given a few weeks of a break here, Ghost Maiden came back to run all right, yesterday. But the family is there as well. As far as a half to Aloha West recently ran like a 102 up in New York, going the 7 furlong distance. My top pick scratched. I like Dulce Kira, but we're going to have to wait for her another day. Yeah. So Moquist, I guess her main pace pressure might come just from her outside from She's a Rolling Stone, but she can benefit off of that race, going over to Timonium, getting the job done against an okay maiden field. This is a step up for her. Fool Yourself was into the race a little sooner than I thought last time, but boy, she ran big. Let's see if she can kind of get that position again down inside at 7/8.
Yeah, I thought the Claudia Gonzalez runners here were a little bit tough to separate. I used Fool Yourself in my exacta and then also threw in Lady Fox with Angel Cruz aboard, who ran away with the win after a bit of a bad break 2 starts ago at Monmouth and back to 7 furlongs. I think she's kind of the stayer in this field. It's no problem for her. So, yeah, tough to separate those two Gonzalez runners. But you used the number 4, Marvella Nasty, underneath. I had her on and off my ticket. Really couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to use her underneath or no.
I just think, her numbers maybe are a touch light. Is she going to make that next jump? It really doesn't really look like it. But just the company that she's kept. She's run against the better sprint types than the rest of this field, in my opinion. So that gets me a little bit of hope for her.
I agree with you there. And then race number 9, final race on the card. 2-year-old maidens, maiden claiming 40 to 32,000, as well as, of course, the Maryland breds get that waiver optional 6 furlong the distance here. I landed on a bit of a price play. I landed on number 11, Shady Mooney for trainer Claudia Gonzalez. Angel Cruz will take the ride here. He was away quite alertly against a field of well-bred versus at Monmouth. He hustled to stay on 3 wide on a pretty fast pace early before taking over briefly. He was doing a lot of running early. He was certainly using maybe a bit too much of his hay and oats in the tank there. Not a question of the distance being the problem, I thought. I just thought that the pace setup tired him, and hence he backed up. I think second time around we're going to see a lot more from him.
We've seen a couple recently, too, with Claudio's Barn, the 2-year-olds, second out, getting that experience and running much, much better. So I leaned to the inside with the 2, Baltimore Boulet, who took plenty of play in debut. A shorter field, a 6-horse field at Pimlico, but caught the mud, caught an next out winner. I'm willing to toss that out of a versatile mare in Charm City. She ran turf, dirt, short, long. It didn't matter. The blinkers going on. There's my angle. Got Gomez. I think he'll be aggressive from that inside draw.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I have him in 3rd and was kind of on and off with him on my ticket. I actually landed up using the number 10, Twist and Twirl for trainer Graham Motion. Actually ran pretty okay on debut, was part of the pack from the get-go, as opposed to Baltimore Bullet, who was in that same race there. I think the blinkers on means improvement. We do see generally that Graham Motion runners tend to do better second time around.
He never got a breather in that race as well. Was always ridden to stay within range. A mild response late. I think the blinker's a little sharper performance here in the 6 furlongs. Extra ground, I think, is going to work for Twist and Troll. Maybe even moving out to 7/8 or a mile for that one.
Yeah, possibly as well. You use a first-time starter in your exacta, though.
Yes.
Elizabeth Merriman. Carol Cedino with only 1 mount here today, and it's Witty.
You see that angle a lot, right? Jock waits around all day for 1 horse. And Elizabeth Merriman does not win a lot first time out. Very good trainer. Okay, doesn't run a slew of horses. but by great notion can get a firster to win. Here's the key for me, the mare. You're looking at the mare. Right, this horse is a half to Caravel. You ever heard of Caravel?
I remember Caravel.
Okay, Caravel, I believe, won? Yeah, at 28 to 1 first time out. Okay. The other foal was second at 15 to 1. Okay, so the mare's got horses that are running well early at a big, big price. That's why I'm taking a shot. The work's sluggish. You know, there's nothing really there showing this horse is fast. But I'm just taking a hunch here. Sedano, only mount. You saw the siblings running big at a big price first time out, so we'll see.
I saw Cara was only here for one mount, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're on to something. And, of course, Caravel, terrific turf sprinter for the Merrimans as well, so very familiar with the family. That's the last race on the card. We have 9 races coming your way, 12:40 first post. But, of course, we move along to lightning round now. Right. We'll update you on the current jockey standings. You can see Javier Toledo headlining at 11 wins, opposed to Angel Cruz with 6, and Fergal Lynch with number 5, as well as Julian Pimentel. But of course, Javier Toledo, such a terrific weekend. Nearly a week ago now, a triple 2 stakes win. Nearly took the feature, did get DQ'd that day. That would have made it a 4-timer, including 3 stakes. I mean, Javier Toledo is obviously getting a lot more opportunities now that, unfortunately, Sheldon Russell is sidelined. Does pick up some very, very good quality mounts for trainer Brittany Russell, but he's making the most of these opportunities.
And that's unfortunate, obviously, for Sheldon. Saw him the other day. He's going to have to go through a little time with that injury, it sounds like, in Toledo there. And you know, Russell's had the opportunity, to have a rider like this, talented enough to kind of turn to, and trust me, he's going to make the most of that opportunity. Yeah,
of course, as we just highlighted, trainer Brittany Russell has really gotten this meet off to a great start. 7 wins, including, of course, 1 stakes win over the weekend. Wonder Where Craig has ended up being second in that grade 3. Looking forward to seeing her get that first graded stakes win on board, because the quality is there, and she's placing her horses in the right spots. And, of course, Hello Beautiful on the weekend was, that was kind of special as well.
Exactly. And, tough luck for Wonder Where Craig is. And she's getting numbers now, too. The barn, I don't know how many she's got total, but, you're talking about Claudio having the numbers. Well, maybe the advantage, maybe the tide is turning just a little bit. We shall see. But Claudio with a couple winners yesterday.
Yeah, we already highlighted the Fall Festival coming up. We did have a 159 nomination to the 5 stakes races coming your way. Of course, we already mentioned it, headlined by the Salima Stakes and the Laurel Futurity, $150,000 for each of those races for 2-year-olds going along on the turf. I mean, embarrassment of riches, really, when you look at all those nominations.
You look at it. That's huge. Great job, Trish, and everybody else there helping out in the racing office. If you like turf, you're going to love October the 2nd, right?
Well, look, for me, it's a double whammy. I love the juveniles and I love turf. I mean, my European background, right? That's what I started out with. So this is absolutely a terrific weekend to tune in. Let's look back at a juvenile success from yesterday. We're highlighting Claudio Gonzalez's success with the 2-year-old. So that's Spicy Margarita, who takes them all the way on her 2nd stop.
You a margarita drinker?
I do, actually, yes.
Okay.
It's a good name.
There you go. Yeah, Spicy Margarita. And we talked about taking advantage of the way this racetrack was playing. Aggressive from the gate, got the lead, got a little breather around the turn, and then turned away that challenge and just kept on going. Jack lost the whip, upper stretch, didn't matter, had something left in the tank.
Yeah, she had made her debut at Timonium over the minimum distance there, and we were kind of mentioning that she wasn't as comfortable with the pace. Well, the 6 furlong, she was plenty comfortable setting that high cruising speed up front. And in quick other news, important news nonetheless, though, the Eclipse Awards ceremony will now be held at Santa Anita Park next year to honor the 2021 champions. So that's the 51st Eclipse Awards ceremony, and that's actually pretty close, 3 days out from the Super Bowl being held nearby. So I do believe they wanted to try and tie these events a little bit together. Of course, the ceremony has been held at Gulfstream Park from 2013 to 2020. We had a virtual ceremony in 2021 to honor the 2020 champions. But of course, in partnership with the Strana Group, a terrific evening. I always tune in. I always want to see who gets these awards, which are obviously very, very prestigious and just a testament to all the connections and these incredible superstars that grace our racetrack.
Absolutely. We get a vote in that. Bill and I upstairs. So, yeah, and that's nice. Let's go to Santa Anita.
Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely. Now,
Got
I
a
think
free
you
place.
should
Hey,
head
maybe
out.
any chance of us getting a couple tickets?
Who do we
Maybe.
talk to?
Never been. Never been. So.
Never had the chance to
No,
attend either, but I do
no.
tune in
We'll
every
see.
single time. Terrific production value as well. Really enjoyable watch for
Daily
everyone.
double with the Super Bowl. That sounds good.
Yeah. Terrific planning there. So very much looking forward to who will be crowned the top champions of this year, but so many more races to come. I don't think anything's said or done yet. Of course, we've got the Breeders' Cup coming up at Del Mar as well. And that will do it for the morning show. I'll be back this afternoon. Of course, Keith, we'll find you upstairs, right?
You got it. Looking forward to it. Enjoy the day. It's beautiful. If you can get out here on the apron, enjoy some live racing.
I agree. Good luck, everyone.